Yes, what's going on? It's Mex. Welcome back to Players World. Today we're going to check out this build from start to finish into a taco truck and taste some tacos at the end. Let's check it out. Yeah, so Latham, thanks for having us here today to talk about obviously your build taco truck. Let's start from the beginning. Obviously P10,
P15.
US, P15. Yeah. What's the difference between a P10 and P15?
Is a P15 and the Chevy's the P10.
Okay.
So they're exactly the same. The spring rate's different, but yeah, they're basically the same. The GMC is meant to be the more
posh one.
Posh one, yeah.
All right, so it's a posh GMC.
Yeah.
P15.
Yeah.
So what's the story behind it? And obviously, let's start from the beginning. Where we start, and now we're here with a taco truck.
So it was about May last year, just before May last year. I mean, I had the idea before then, but May last year, furloughed.
Okay.
I'd built the 7. The Beat was in the garage. I'd done a few bits on that, a few other projects, and I was starting to be like, gonna get a bit bored soon. I've run out of things to do, and then I was like, let's build a taco truck.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the plan. Built a taco truck. So then went on the look, found a load in America, started like looking around, thinking, yeah, this is cool. Like they're quite cheap in America still. Didn't really fit with the time frame though, because I was furloughed. I needed some today, tomorrow.
There and then,
let's build it right today. So getting some up from America was going to be like 3 or 4 months down the line. Started looking around the UK, really nothing available. There was a few really big vans. P42s, which are like the big, like 7.5 ton size lorries. The problem with that is 1, they're like 40 grand, and 2, they were like, you need a different license to drive them, you need a taco, you need like...
But I thought you were making tacos.
A tachometer,
okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so yeah, it was like, it started to spiral a bit out of control. And then as luck would have it, I found one for sale. I found a bigger one with a P20. So that's the next size up. You still need a different license to drive it, but I thought I'd go and look at it anyway. And that was the only one they had listed. Got down there, it was a place in Basildon, and they had 8 of them in the yard that they hadn't advertised. They'd only advertised the 1. Started having a look around. This one like was in the corner of the yard, had like a tree growing in it, moss on the roof. It was like completely fucked. And I sort of thought, I discredited it straight away because it was like, I'm gonna have to dig this thing out of where it was. Discredited it, started having a look around the P20 and was like, this is still gonna be a bit of hassle. It was a nice thing, but it had been used as like a snap-on van, but like a snap-on van in the 70s, so it was just filled with diesel and dirt, and I was like, this is gonna take a lot of cleaning. I had a proper look around this one in the corner of the yard, and it was actually solid. The patina was obviously as it is now, but the only rot that was on it was on the roof, because it had sat in the UK, the moss had grown on the roof, and you can still see a little bit of the rust around it. But because it was from Georgia, which is a dry state, everyone always loves the fact that like Georgia vans are like, you know, that area. Looked around it, everything was solid, a little bit of rot on the bottom bits there, a little bit of rot on the roof, but apart from that, everything was mint. Like all the chassis rails were perfect, all the, you know, the rest of the body was perfect. Engine was like a mess. There was like a bird living in it, like in a bird's nest. It was like,
obviously nowhere near running. It wasn't a running vehicle, nowhere near.
My mentality with everything I've ever bought, the BM, everything like that, is if it's solid, anything else I can work with. So if it's, as long as I ain't got to be under there welding like new chassis rails in, new, you know, seals, etc. I'll rebuild an engine, that's no problem. I'll, you know, rebuild the suspension, whatever, because you haven't got, you know, you're not getting burnt hands from welding, you're not getting all that sort of stuff. So it's like, I'll tell you what, I'll have a look at it. Got speaking to the guy, the price was amazing for it, because I think he just wanted it out the yard. So I was like, all right, we can work with this. Went home, haven't thought about it, spoke to my wife. And yeah, that was it then really. Went back, spoke to the guy, and he got it delivered. When it turned up, I was thinking, right, we'll get it, you know. So he dug it out for me, and he drove it off the recovery truck. So I was like, drive, sweet. Oh, wicked. So that was like, wicked. Yeah, so the worst case is like, I was thinking I was probably gonna have to source a new engine for it, whatever. But yeah, drove it off the recovery truck. Didn't drive well. Yeah. But like,
it moved under its own steam.
Yeah. I did end up taking the engine out and rebuilding it in the end, just for my own peace of mind more than anything. And it was like the last thing on the van. So by the time I'd got everything else done, the engine was just sat there looking a bit sorry for itself. So I took it out and rebuilt it. When I started the project, I was like, there was a lot of vans out there that I was looking at that were all really glossy, shiny, etc. And I didn't want to mess with the aesthetic. I was like, it's got a nice bit of patina on it, as it is. So like the patina's, it's not too, you know, it's
no,
just
but I think it really adds to the character, and I think obviously we'll get onto the graphics and so on, but I think it really does tie in well with the feel of the van and the size of it. I think if you went for a bigger van, maybe you wouldn't needed it a little fancier or whatever, but for the size, it really fits. And yeah, I think obviously, but it was a bare shell essentially that you started with, an empty box.
Yeah, well, when I bought it, the first thing I did was took it back to a bare shell. So it's like a Meccano set, this thing. It's like, there's no...
All riveted on.
Yeah, everything's just riveted, or there's like clutch head bolts, you just take them all off, took everything off it. Anything I could take off got powder coated, so the bumpers, all the interior is fantastic. So yeah, like basically all of these interior panels all come off, everything up here, all the floor, all the they call that a doghouse, everything come off. So I was like, right, if I can take it off, I'll get it powder coated. And then I was literally left with a bare shell. But then, you know, there was just a pile of stuff then I didn't have to worry about. Someone else had to sandblast it and powder coat it. So done that, yeah, and then like you said, I was left with a bare shell. Checked it over for rot. Like I said, the only bit of rot really was down here. It's quite funny trying to do that actually, because I couldn't paint it to look, I couldn't just go and paint it like I'd paint anything else. Because it'd stand out like a sore thumb. So I sort of painted it, sanded it back, painted it, just done it like, and then just like let it.
It's the only time you're gonna purposely paint something badly.
It was more difficult than painting something properly. Yeah, it's like, well, I've just got to do kind of badly.
Do a shit job of it. Purposely,
and then just left it as is. So yeah, that was sort of it. Got it all apart.
But what was the back like? So the back was
empty.
What was it before? Do we know what it was before?
So they was using it as some sort of like mobile carpentry shop, or like he had like a fold-out table that come out of the wall, and then there was like brackets and stuff on the wall for woodworking equipment. So
it wasn't before. It wasn't a food truck. There was nothing related.
Completely empty. Okay. It was already the colour it is now, so it was already green on the inside and white on the outside. So yeah, it was completely empty. So then, yeah, the plan was to try, because it's quite a small space and I had quite a lot of equipment that needed to go in there. It wasn't so much a case of just buying stuff off the shelf and fitting it. So like the fridges come up to here, but then you've got the kebab machine there that needs to be down here. So you could never have that on top of that. So that determined that I couldn't have, and then like to get two people to walk around each other, because it's me and my wife in the van, the counters needed to be a certain width, which meant that everything needed to be quite narrow. So
it's a lot of working out, obviously, to do.
So standard.
But everything's been fabricated by yourself.
Standard commercial kitchen fridges are too wide to go on the van, so I had to find a narrow fridge. You can get bottle fridges that you use in like the back of a bar. They're quite narrow. But even with two of them side by side, I mean, we'll show you in a sec, there's still only room for one person. So the fridges had to go up in that corner.
So that determined the location of things, which meant you had to work it.
So that meant the kebab machine needed to go in that corner. Then like
it's it's kind of hurting. You're calling it a kebab machine.
A trompo.
El trompo. But yeah, so okay, perfect. So yeah, so from start to finish, you've sort of fabricated, worked out, troubleshot everything that you needed to.
And then sort of the benches were the bit that sort of held it all together. So I couldn't just go flat bench, jobs again. I had to fabricate all the shapes into it, done it all out of metal, so it's nice and sturdy. And also I didn't want to go stainless. You look at a lot of kitchens, they are, you know, a professional kitchen is all stainless surfaces. I wanted to keep it authentic, rustic. So if you look, there's oilcloths in there. The wood, so I wanted wood worktops. Now, when you come to get your hygiene rating, they say no wood because it's absorbent and it's bad for. So I was like, right, I want wood, but at the same time, it needs to be wipeable. So I put 2 inches of epoxy on the top of it. So it's all white. You know,
so essentially, it's a plastic worktop.
It's a plastic worktop that looks like wood. So sort of.
Which takes away the fact that I know how much work you put into that wood to get it really nice.
Oh yeah, and then I built all the wood worktops, and I forgot to dry them out properly. So then like, when it went from winter to summer, they just all cracked, so I had to redo them all, which was a bit of a pain in the ass. But yeah, like, once I'd got the worktops in there, it was a case of like all the other surfaces, everything's been oilcloughed, all the walls, cladding and stuff like that, apart from where it, on the back where
yeah, the colours are proper fruity. They're like,
yeah, I thought I'd gone a little bit too far, and then I messaged a few of my my friends who work in fashion. I messaged a few of them and I was like, have I gone too far with this? She was like, nah, keep going. And I was like, right, okay, so I've got an expert opinion on that one. Because I know nothing about colours.
No, but I mean, the fact that the colours are a bit wild and the patterns are a bit wild, it keeps within the vibe of the truck. I think if you went really subtle or really basic colour, so just one colour throughout, it'd be a bit narrow. I think the mix match of colours and patterns and whatever, it kind of like hurt your eyes in a good way.
Yeah, so, that was the vibe. And I just like, once I got to a point, I was like, I'm just going to keep going. So obviously you got the Mexican tiles up there, the oilcloths, 3 different colours of oilcloths. So you got the blue, the yellow and the green.
I like that.
And then everything else, the floor's like tiles. So it's all good, and then obviously all the inside's green. I was like, when I was contemplating colours, I was like, I could change the colour because I'm at the stage now where everything is, you know, I'm starting from scratch. I could do any colour I want. I could, you know. And then I sort of thought about it, and obviously the Mexican flag colours are green, red, and
verde, blanco y colorado. La bandera del soldado.
What did he say?
So, all right, so yeah, obviously the grille and stuff at the front's all red.
That works real nice.
And then that's the Mexican
white.
flag
No. You've got your obviously your menu.
Yeah.
This, what I want to get onto, Tacos El Pap. You had to fabricate this though, yeah?
The shutter?
Yeah. So it's just for people to understand, actually, this was just a solid panel.
Yeah. And what I wanted with the shutter as well, obviously I've put the shelf in, etc., and so on and so forth. I wanted it when the shutter was down that it just looked much like a van. I didn't want you get a lot of trucks and stuff, and they have big cladding around here. And like, you know, and it stands out like a sore thumb. Whereas when this is closed, you just have a very faint line around that indicates it's the shutter sort of thing. So yeah, no, I fabricated all that. Cut it very carefully with an angle grinder one day, one little slit.
Careful, and angle grinder in the same way.
Yeah. Cut it, like, I was worried about it overheating as well, so I was very, surgical with that thing. Yeah, the sign writing as well. You had a big hand in that.
Love it.
We went back and forth for about 2 months on the sign writing, didn't we? Yeah, it was like, should we put stuff at the top?
At the top, at the bottom, down the door.
And to be honest, with the sign writing, I was like, well, if we do something and it's a bit crap, let's paint over it. I was on Street View actually, looking around Mexico, just literally like,
corner shops,
walking around, but like going around Mexico, looking at, and everything was just like a bit rough, a bit hand painted. And I was like, I can do that. Like, so yeah, once we figured out what we were going to do, we done a little Photoshop of it, got it all as it should have done, and then me and Leah came down one day and just started painting.
So Chris, obviously he's a friend of ours. Tattoo artist by trade. Does he have a trade? Jack of all trades. Tattoo artist. Obviously, talk us through this.
So when I first got the van, he was heavily doing this style of tattooing, to be honest. Very, basically that was his vibe. And he was sort of like, let me come and tattoo the van. Sorry, let me come and paint the van. And I was like, I'll tell you what, you can do anything you want. You've got the 2 back doors. You don't have to tell me what you're gonna do, just go and do it. And he started looking around, he's like, I wanna do this. And I was like, just do what you want. Absolutely do what you want.
I love the Guadalupe. I think it's obviously, it's a vibe, it's relative. I mean, taco truck, Mexican, Guadalupe.
Yeah.
You can argue it, Mexican, but I mean, it's random, but great at the same time. And I love it. When you showed me that idea, I was like, yeah, perfect. You know, when you like asking how is this going to go down? Are people going to, no, I think it's a vibe. I don't think anybody would get offended by it. I think it's super cool.
And to be honest, with the van, although it's got that, you've got the sign writing, I've always sort of said, anyone who's asked, it's more of a journey, not a destination. So we're probably going to add more to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're just going to add more to it as it goes on. Like, obviously, we've got a good starting point here. The van's like done.
Yeah.
But it's always going to be.
Like with any project car, anything. This is this is no different.
Alone. Like,
it's always going to evolve onto something, and as you use it, because how many events have you done now? 2.
2.
Yeah. So as you use it, people ask questions. You think, oh, maybe I should have that on the side, or you'll think that doesn't work. That works. So and with the ability that you have, because obviously you're mixing here three businesses into one. Was it Pap Performance, essentially?
Latham.
Latham Performances. Performance.
Yeah.
Tacos El Pap.
Yeah.
And obviously yourself. And I think that's it.
Plus section cars.
Yeah. So I think it's a really good sort of combination of things that come together into the van. And I think it shows such a cool build that it shows all your aspects. When you said, I'm building a taco truck, at no point did I doubt it, because I know you've got capabilities, and I know obviously food is a passion of yours, and and I love it. And I think this has come out great. If only we could taste a bit of tacos.
Wow, Mex, as you say that. I've made you some barbacoa. I've got some masa ready to roll.
Perfect.
So yeah, there might be some.
So
food.
shall we get some tacos on the go?
Do you want to get some tacos?
Yeah, let's get some tacos on the go.
Difficult opening this.
Yeah.
You coming inside?
So yeah, let's go inside. Let's go inside. This is where the real Mexicans pinch it and turn it around. I don't understand how they do it. Like I burn myself like instantly. They like pinch it and turn it around.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I know what you mean.
Like my mum does it. I can't do that. I burn myself every time I've tried it. I've ended up with the biggest blister on my thumb. So you say we've got some barbacoa on the go. Yeah. Perfect. Nice. Looking forward to it. We've got the crema here. And you make the masa as well?
Yeah. So I'm buying the masa flour, and then a little bit of lime, a little bit of salt.
That's it.
And then then we get to this sort of stage.
And this is obviously the trompo for the.
Yeah, it's not a kebab machine, as I kept calling it.
No, el trompo.
I do call it a trompo, but because I'm not Mexican, I don't think I can pull it off as well.
Trompo.
A trompo, yeah.
Trompo.
Yeah.
But you're Spanish. You're Spanish. You've impressed me with your Spanish. You've been.
Yeah,
really,
I am learning Spanish. As
you like when I send you the voice notes and you actually reply. I'm just like, you know what? That's like I give you that, like fully immersing yourself in the culture.
I did it at secondary school.
Yeah, I know, but you went to school in Birmingham. I don't know how legit Spanish is.
How dare you?
Smells great. This is what we're having. So we're having the barbacoa, 18-hour cooked brisket with crema. So that sounds good. We're gonna try it out and taste it in a sec. I'm really looking forward to it. Jarritos, Mexican fizzy drinks, cola and lime. To be honest, I think Mandarin's probably my favorite. But I wanted to try the lime because I know Mandarin's my favorite and I haven't had the lime in forever. So cheers.
Cool.
Thanks very much. Let's get stuck in.
Grab some fruit.
Let's get stuck in.
A bit juicy, but.
Hey. Mate.
You're the first Mexican person to eat my tacos.
Flavor's on point. The meat, you can tell. 18 hours, the softness, just the weight, just, It hits so good. Those onions really come across really nice without overpowering it.
You're gonna start doing food reviews now, Mex.
And la crema. I'm gonna go seconds. Don't mind me. Wow, this is a big boy. It's a two-hander. It's a vibe. 10 out of 10 for the barbacoa. I'm the crema. Rick, get involved. Don't want to miss out before I finish them all. We've been through your build from start to finish. We've tried the tacos. Thanks very much for having us today and cooking for us.
No problem.
And explaining obviously the journey you've had with the taco truck. Anybody at any shows that you see Leif and Tacos El Pap, make sure you stop by and check him out. I can tell you firsthand the tacos are on point. So thanks very much for watching. Catch you next time.